Welcome back, everybody. This is the thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti. It's my last episode. We did the first stage of this particular game, a Famicom game that was released originally only in Japan. And now we will be garbage of cesspool yet again as we take on stages 2 and probably 3 as well in this episode. Now, stage 3 is actually pretty long, so I doubt we'll get beyond stage 3. Stage 4 is pretty long too. So we are continuing onward. We're going to have lots of mini-bosses to fight. Most of the enemies are going to be pretty much the same, at least initially here in Stage 2. And something to note is we're going to now start having some vertical elements as well to these levels. So we have these little blue spider thingies. And we have to get all the way up to the northeast part of the room to head through the door and then take on our first mini-boss here, or sub-boss. And it is a bit of a rematch with the Poltergeist. So we took on a Poltergeist-like enemy in the previous episode when we took on the bookcase. And now we have to face an enemy that's very similar to the arcade game when you had to fight the Poltergeist in that game, and it would throw knives at you, as well as things like chairs and the like. But in this one we get little headless chickens that we have to take on as well. Now again, I'm not sure if this is actually timed or not, but after a while, they do stop attacking you. And then the whole floor kind of shakes here, and eventually it'll break out, and you're going to fall down into the sewer area. Now, interestingly, as we crash through the floors with a pretty cool effect here, you do not want to get hit by that falling piece of wood, because that will actually damage you. It's a little bit like the chandelier in the original Splatterhouse when you took on the Poltergeist, except it's not an instant kill. It won't automatically take all of your life, it will just do one little sliver of health. But now we're in a pretty disgusting looking sewer here. Again, reminiscent of a level in the original Splatterhouse for the arcade, where you had to go into a waterway underneath the mansion. Unfortunately, we can't knock the enemies into the back wall. The Famicom/NES was not technologically advanced enough to be able to do that. We do have to jump over some obstacles in the sewer water, and then of course continue to kill some of these enemies. We're still trying to kill enemies simply to extend our life bar. Because I used the password, I actually lost a little bit of experience, so to speak, towards my life bar upgrades. We take on another mini-boss here. It is a large mouse or rat. Now we stayed in the water. You can actually go up onto that platform if you want, but then you got to go through all of his little buddies. If you stay in the water, you can just jump and slash him in half. That tends to work pretty well. And you do want to watch out because the little rat is actually still able to hurt you, so you do need to slash it. Or just damage boost through it, I suppose. But then we're going to hop up here and get to the end of this particular part of the stage. We're going to head into the longest stage in the game, which is stage 3. Welcome to Devil Town. So this level is incredibly long. It starts off with kind of a, a Nightmare on Elm Street vibe here. And I should have probably grabbed that hamburger. I thought I could still get it. But we got these pumpkin guys, and then we can also destroy these trash cans by stomping on them, and they will have candy. And you actually, I think, are able to get a shotgun at some point, although I've never been able to get one. I don't know if it's based on the number of enemies you've killed, or if it's in a particular trash can. But I've seen other people play this game and actually get the shotgun, and I've never found it, personally. We're heading to the house here. And again, we have to head to the right here. We want to stay as high as we can, because if you fall all the way down to the bottom, you'll have to face a bunch of spiders throwing things at you that'll damage you, and Rick doesn't really have invincibility frames as we take on some chainsaws here. Hopefully we won't get massacred. We're going to dodge the chainsaws and slash them. Again, I think this boss is just timed. You have to wait for the chainsaw on the bottom to kind of make some rounds backward. on the floor, and then eventually it'll stop, and I think the other chainsaws that are flying around will just get destroyed. So once it gets all the way to the right, I believe this boss, well, I guess not. Maybe it can also be timed with hitting the chainsaws. And we go right into another boss. This is spoofing, of course, aliens. We got some face huggers here. This boss looks really terrible. It's not too bad. The spiders or face huggers here will track you. And as long as you just slash them when they fall to the ground and keep dodging left and right, you'll get through them pretty easily. You can actually just dodge them as well if you don't want to kill them, and then they'll run off the side of the screen. Again, this is timed, I think. It's either a certain number of face huggers or a certain amount of time has to pass. But this young lady had a lot of them inside of her. She was quite the breeding ground. And then interestingly, she's all fine. Because this is a kid's game. With her little side boob there. You'd think, well, we must be almost done, right? With stage 3? Right? Right? No. We're only about halfway, if that. Maybe about 40% done with it. This level is ridiculous. This game has so many bosses and mini-bosses. And again, a lot of them are patterned after classic horror movies. So we'll get a few more homages coming up with some of the more mini-bosses in this stage. Can't go in this house. And we're also going to see the first appearance of a secret that you can actually get. And you don't have to do it, but if you want the best ending in the game, you will have to do it. So I'm going to be doing that so that we can get the best ending. And here we have the church. That apparently is supposed to be the bell sound. This is again reminiscent of the Splatterhouse arcade game. One of the bosses you took on there, the cross enemy. This boss is going to be significantly different. But its pattern, once it gets going, is very similar to the Jennifer boss battle in the arcade game. So we have this, whatever it is, shaman or religious cult leader. Luckily he's not all in white, or it, I suppose. And it has these flying enemies coming at us. For the first part of the battle here, you just have to dodge or destroy them. If you kill them, I think he just makes more. And eventually he will come down and turn into a goat. And what you do with this enemy is kind of back off, slash him when he does his little hop. And then eventually he'll do a longer hop and kind of jump to the other side of the screen and then just repeat the pattern kind of over and over. It's not too bad, but those extended hops can do some damage. There we go. Mystic Neon Goat destroyed. And I believe we're actually on our last experience bar here. I will be saving for the rest of this level just because it's so long. I don't want to have to take on these bosses again. But once we get to 50, I think that's the end of our experience gains, and then we'll have a fully stocked up life meter. But we gotta get there first, which means dodging more of these silly pumpkin heads. So easy to take damage because you get knocked back and you just do not have any invincibility frames. Like if you do, they're very minuscule, like a split second, if a second. Now again, you're supposed to be able to find a shotgun here, but I've never found one. Because it's really helpful with the boss. Otherwise, this boss is actually quite annoying to kill. So here we have the Fly boss from the Human Fly movie. So it's going to come out, and we're going to have to kill it. It's very happy to see us. You want to dodge its little buddies, and then when it dives down, you want to slash it, and you have to do that about 4 times, maybe 5. It can be kind of difficult to hit him, simply because it's hard to get within range without getting hit by his little minions. Now, if you have the shotgun, this boss is incredibly easy. You can just jump and shoot him 4 times or 5, and he will die. So a lot easier. Again, I just cannot find the shotgun ever, so I have to do it the hard way. And interestingly, with this level, this is where the first secret is. So if you go off to the right side of the screen here after beating the boss, if we beat it. We're getting kind of low here. Ow, okay, come on. Ooh. But if you head off to the right, you'll continue on to stage 4. But we actually don't want to do that because we want to get the secrets. So we want to head through the pod that the fly came out of, which will take us to a secret level. And this is actually required, again, to get to this secret ending. So here we have Japan. And Japan is not in a good state. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be feudal Japan, modern Japan, just designed like feudal Japan, or what. Again, this is an optional level. You don't have to do this level to beat the game, but you do have to do it in order to get the secret ending. Alright, so now that the volcano has erupted, we're going to head to the right here. We only have 1 tick of life left, so I don't know how far I'm going to get here. I think you have to head through the middle door here. At least that's what I've always done. I've never gone through the left or the right doors. And we have these crazy enemies. I want to try to get through this part and at least get to the next part of the level before I die. I doubt I'll be able to get through the whole level because the second part of this stage is pretty difficult. Some of the enemies are pretty tough. Ow. Okay, get in the door. Get in the door! Alright, so we have kind of this... These enemies are terrible. So they fall forward and they throw tea at you, and then you have these bamboo... Okay, there we go. Well, there's my death. So we're going to continue. Doesn't really matter since I use passwords for each episode, but we shall see. Basically, you have to jump over their little tea that they throw at you, and then hit them as you come down. And then there's a boss, sort of? Not really. So we have this woman here, and she's going to do a little dance for us. And that is it. So you show your appreciation, and then you can also press the A button to fart. And if you fart while she's looking at you, she'll get grossed out and she'll say you're rude. But in both situations, whether you fart or not in front of her, you will get the crystal ball that you need. It's the first of the 2 crystal balls you need to get the secret ending. But now we are finally done with stage 3. The longest stage in the game. Welcome to Japan. I will give you crystal ball. Good luck to you. Thank you. As always, viewers, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll continue on in my next one. Take on stages 4 and probably 5. Thank you for the continued support, and I'll see you all in my next episode. We take on Diamond Lake. So long. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time.